Hello and welcome to the Reaper. So we're back in our beautiful Spitfire again. Yes, we absolutely love this plane. It's not the easiest plane to fly, but it's super cool. And I've got Grinkle, the Spitfire man, here with me today. We're going to do our best today. So we've done the cockpit yesterday. Today we're going to do the cold start procedure and then have a bit of a taxi around because taxiing this thing is a bloody art form in itself. So first of all, cold start procedure with a cold spit here. Grinkle, what do we do first?
Right, first thing you want to do is move your stick out the way and hit the fuel switch.
Roger, that's a pain in itself. Okay, and fuel isolator on.
Right, next you want to push the throttle forward until the lights in the dash come on and pull them back.
And then pull it back once the lights in the dash comes on, yeah?
Yep.
Roger.
Right, next you got a choice. You can either hit the wobble pump on the right hand side of the cockpit, just keep hitting that until the light goes off. The left hand light on the right hand on the dashboard.
And what would be the alternative?
The alternative is if you look underneath your big wheel trim for the pitch, there'll be a switch there that is a fuel pump.
Oh, hang on just a sec. I see the light you mean now. Is it the one on the bottom right, the orange light? Is that the one we're talking about?
Yes.
Right, so let me just backtrack. So what I had to do was push the lever forward enough until that light comes on there. Which is going to be a fuel more low pressure warning light, I imagine. Then I had to pump this little gizmo to build up pressure, or the alternative was, did you say there was a pump somewhere?
Yep, there's a automatic fuel pump switch underneath the big left-hand dial for the pitch trim.
Roger, give me a second, I'm going to try and find it.
It's a real pain in the ass to reach.
There's the pitch trim, but where is a...
It's the switch directly underneath it.
So I've got the nose up, nose down. That's the pitch trim, is it? Oh, the wheel. Right. Yep. Right. With it. Right. Let's give this a go because we like to try everything out. I'm going to try this. Stand by. Hey, pump on and light is off. Okay, we have fuel pressure. What's next?
Sorry, 1 second. Otherwise you can hear that in the background.
No, it doesn't matter. Stidhams.
Next is the white primer scrolly thing in the right hand side of your dash.
Yeah, so what the hell does that do? What is
It's
it,
got
primer?
key gas written on it.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it pumps fuel into certain parts of the engine to get it all ready.
Oh right, hang on. No, I do remember primer from the Mustang. It does starts to spit a bit of gasoline into the pistons. It's a weird knob because you kind of turn it left 90 degrees, don't you?
Yeah, you turn it left, pull it out. You have to pump it 5 times.
I'll pull it out. Oh yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then twist it back around.
Yep.
Never saw that before. That's pretty sick. Okay, we've put a bit of gasoline in there.
Right. Next is the propeller RPM, which is the black push forward throttle like thing underneath your main throttle.
Roger, where do we want that set
Push
to?
that all the way forwards.
Whee! Roger.
Next is the 2 magnetos.
Up. Yep, done.
Right, next if you move your stick out the way again, you have the 2 black switch covers. Open those up.
Bong bong. Copy. Done.
Right, now you find those 2 key bindings I told you earlier. The default will be delete and home. And while holding, with your fingers on top of those, look at your throttle and reference the red lever.
Stand by. So do you want me to keep my fingers on these, on booster and
Yeah,
start?
don't push them yet.
Okay.
You have to be ready to push them. So
Okay.
put your fingers on them and then look at your throttle and find the red lever.
Found.
Right, now you're going to push the 2 buttons down and wait for the engine to tick once or twice, and then you're going to throw that lever forwards.
Roger, so just to explain to the viewers, I've got 2 buttons here I'm going to press at the same time. I'm going to do that by setting the 2 bindings on my keyboard, which I'll be pressing without you seeing, and then after a few clicks I'm going to put the red lever forward. Are you ready?
I have to reprime mine 1 sec.
Shall I go Grinkle?
Right, 3, 2, 1.
And lever forward. Yes! Who's a super cap? I like my Merlin.
Right, and this is the one check I actually do because it's the important one. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the wheel brakes all the way on.
Wheel brakes all the way on.
Parking brakes. If you use a button for your wheel brakes, if you scrolled on that wishbone sort of handle in the front of your stick,
okay.
You should be able to scroll that all the way to the right, and that will be your wheel brakes fully on.
I've never seen this.
Equivalent to parking.
Okay, wheel brakes fully on.
Push the throttle out very slowly until you reach 1200 RPM.
Slowly, 1200 RPM. Roger, done.
And now you're going to hold it here until your oil pressure goes between 60 and 120. Your oil temperature reaches a minimum of 20 degrees centigrade, and your coolant temperature reaches a minimum of 60 degrees centigrade. Failure to do this could mean bad things happening to the engine on takeoff.
Right, oil temperature is going up. Right, let's just let it do its thing.
If you push the wheel brakes fully forward, you can probably bring her up to about 1500 to get the heat up a bit quicker.
Stand by, going up to 1500.
While we wait for that to happen, if you look at the left-hand side of your gun sight, just hit the on-off switch.
Yep, done.
Covers back up over your start or stop things.
Done.
And then once your temperatures reach the correct levels, you're ready to taxi.
Roger. What should the oil be at?
Oil should be oil pressure between 60 and 120 psi. Oil temperature 20 degrees centigrade. Coolant temperature is 60 degrees centigrade. That's the green and yellow dashes on the right hand side.
Roger.
I'd imagine yours is probably reaching about temperature about now, which is plenty enough time for you to have already taxied to the runway, right?
Roger, temperature's looking pretty good. So, we've let things get up to temperature, or they're certainly on their way at least, so we can do a bit of taxiing. So taxiing is what we'll do next, and it's, like I said, oh, hang on, my canopy. Got the canopy.
Oh yeah, canopy. Well, you have the canopy open during taxi anyway.
Oh really?
We did forget, yeah. So you don't have to in DCS, but it's obviously so you can stick your head out the side when you look around the nose.
Roger, I'm going to close it because I haven't got VR. I can't really look out the side anyway. How do we close it?
Look behind you. You should see a bar just above your seat. Black handle.
Yep, got it.
Pull the black handle.
Whee! That's pretty awesome. Ah, and I can talk as well. Okay, so that is our engine kind of setup going. Is there anything we need to do with the radiator flap, or do we just leave that an auto?
Radiator flap, leave an auto. The pitot heat you can turn on if you need it. You can set your takeoff trim now if you'd like.
No, we're going to do that on the takeoff, so we'll ignore it for now. Right, so next we're going to do taxiing, and so if you've got a spare throttle type button or a potentiometer type button on your joystick, then it's apparently a bit easier. If you don't, like me, if you've got a relatively crappy joystick, you've only got a button, then it's quite difficult. So how do we explain how to do it? I'm going to take my brake off.
If I taxi a second and you F2 me, you should be able to hear what I'm doing essentially with the throttle. It's the only way I can think of explaining it.
Following you.
Right, you should be able to hear the hisses every time I release the brake. I hope, anyway.
They won't be models. I can...
Essentially, what I'm doing is I'm just pumping it forward, so I'm going from 0% to 30% brake, 0% to 30%, back down again each time.
So it's all in the brake. You have to brake to get this thing to turn.
Essentially, if you're constantly varying the pressure on your brake, you've constantly got some form of brake pressure, which means you always have some form of... Because it's differential braking, right? So as long as you're constantly playing with the brake, like now I can just let it go, speed up a bit.
Roger. Right, so Cap's going to have a go now. So what we do is just a dash of throttle, just the tiniest little bit to get moving.
If you hear my throttle, it's been at 1200 RPM and it hasn't moved since I started taxiing. If I need to gain speed, I just let go of the brakes.
So it's all about the brakes. Now, so Grinkle has a potentiometer type brake button. I don't have it. I just have a crap normal on-off button. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone, but I'm constantly pressing. Can you hear that hydraulic sound?
I can hear it.
That is me pumping the brakes on and off. Oh, in fact, you can even see the lever. You can see the lever. That's what I'm doing with the brake. And I have to do that to turn the Spitfire and to stop it crashing on taxi. So let's see how I turn a corner. Watch what I do with the brake. A little bit of throttle on. Bit of rudder. Pump, 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 pump. Whoops, too fast. Don't want to go up to 2,000, 20,000, 2,000. Pump, 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 pump. And then when she's just about straightened out, you still have to do a little bit of pumping, but just not as much. More pumping. Feel it getting away. And
if you pull back on the stick as well, that helps keep the tail wheel centre.
Roger, pulling back. Okay, I'm going to go external view now. So you can see. So you can hear the hissing of the brakes and pumping. Pump, 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 pump. I'm being extra cautious so I don't crash, but you get the idea.
But yeah, it just works a lot better when you're able to put in small amounts of brake.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay. Simple as that. Now it's straightened up so we can run straight for a bit. So I'm completely off the brake now. Where did you get to, by the way, Grinkle?
I'm just mucking about on the grass trying to find the right end of the runway.
Right, pumping the brake again. Just little dabs, tiny little dabs. And a bit of rudder, bit of brake, tiny bit of throttle. We're not going above 1200 RPM.
A 15's okay.
Roger. I went up to 2000, it was too much, got too powerful.
Yeah.
Brake, 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 pumping the brakes, bit of rudder, pumping the brake.
It's always better to be conservative than let it go, because if she runs away from you, she will run away from you.
Yeah, it's where I get stuck on landing. And okay, see, and we're pretty much level now, we're okay, we're off the brake. Back down to 1200 RPM, don't want to go too fast, never taxi fastness bit. Can't see in front, let's have a little look. Okay, so we've got a right turn coming here. Start pumping that brake and some right rudder, bit of throttle, tiny bit, and that's us turn. Let's keep going. Straighten out. Still pumping the brake to straighten out. And we're straight. Let go of the brake. Drifting left, so a bit more pumping of the brake, a bit of right rudder. Whoops, got ourselves in a bit of a twist here. Put too much rudder on by accident. A little bit of gas, a bit of pumping, and that's us sorted. Left turn, pumping the brake.
One of the hardest parts is seeing past this thing's nose.
Yeah. I tend to just look at the very edge of the taxiway. And whoopsie, got by that. Right, I'm about to get on to the taxiway. I think that's 09, I can't tell. It's only on now. Nearly done the taxi. See the brake? I've never stopped pumping that brake. Unless you're in a perfectly straight line, you're perfectly settled, the brake is never off. And that, bit of rudder, bit of power, bit more brake, that is us on the runway. Full brake on, and that's us done. Right, so that was startup procedure, and that was taxi. The next video we'll do takeoff and landing, which is going to be horrible because it's impossible. Other than that, we'll see you later.